I've gotten the plate, the back table, the back round, and now I'm just kind of left with the cake, and I've covered up the raspberries that are going to be here. But overall, I'm just trying to think through what I want to do exactly, because with a lot of my pieces, you can't quite tell where the light source is or what the light source is or exactly how it's affecting the object. And I always like playing around with something in all of my pieces, so I think for this piece I'm definitely going to go for a very intense bright light, maybe probably from this direction, since this you can't see it very well, but like this is very, very dark. It's a dark purple and brown, and especially since this is for a bakery, so I want to go ahead and highlight the texture and the very glossy effect of the icing in this piece. So I think I'll have a very intense light coming from this area. And I've had a couple questions about how I set up my palette personally, and honestly, mine's really simple. I actually do my palettes on old magazines that I've read through already, because I am cheap and frugal and I don't really see a point in palette paper when I just throw it away anyways. So I normally set up on the edges my white, my red, my blue, my yellow, and my black. I try to stay away from using so much black unless I'm trying to get just a really deep tone, or a deep value. So this is just, it's a really easy setup, it's really simple. I try to work with mostly primaries purely so I can get a better understanding of how to work with my own paint. I work with Master's Touch Acrylic and the Liquitex Basics. I can put those down in the description if anyone's interested, probably not though. So yeah, I mix with a palette knife, I set up my palette this way. Normally if I'm working with a bigger piece that it's going to take a lot more time, I just get and normally I have tubes of paint that have the other colors, like secondary and tertiary colors that I'm using. So normally I have a bigger piece, a bigger magazine, and I have my whites, my primaries, my dark color, and then I have all of the other ones. Normally I just make an L shape. I've seen a couple of other YouTubers actually put just big globs all along their palette, but that's not how I was taught. This is just how the technique I was taught by my teacher, and I think that this method definitely works best for me because you can see it's kind of a mess in the middle of my palette, and I'd rather try and keep these as pure as possible. So yeah, I'm going to work on this color, gonna lay down flat colors, mainly midtones, because I find it's easiest to work from midtones in acrylics and then go and add in your deep dark shades and then add your white highlights. And well, not white, I try to stay away from white highlights, but yeah, I'm going to add my flat midtones and then go on from there. Sorry for the glare, I know it's pretty intense, but best lighting, I guess. Okay, so I've taken a bit of a pause from the painting just to figure out where my thoughts are. So I did a couple of different little sketches and value studies. Yes, that one's in color because my brain is funky sometimes. Overall, I think I'm going to try and focus all of the high key areas right in this off-centered portion of the piece, just to add an area of focus, and then have a lot of dark values over here, especially right behind the plate, to kind of draw emphasis around the form of this piece of cake, and the raspberries as use visual hierarchy to go from this point right here, then to kind of this high contrast right here between this horizontal, this sharp edge, and these two anomalies of organic form. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna try and go for this kind of composition with the value and the keys, and I will go ahead and get back to the video. Okay, so I've been working on this painting for roughly, I think, an hour since I last checked in. And looking at it, it looks really kind of gross and unrefined, but I like when I can back away from the piece and see the bigger picture. kind of the style of a lot of impressionists and Baroque artists. So I kind of really like that aspect of it. It looks kind of gross on camera, but it looks better without this glare from this light, but otherwise I cannot see the piece on camera. So overall, I'm really happy with how the cake is coming so far. I'm thinking, because it's supposed to be a raspberry chocolate mousse cake, I think, that I'm going to put some nice deep red highlights in here somewhere, just in the icing. And then hopefully when I put these bright red raspberries and here and up down here, it'll bring out more of the red in these browns. Definitely this plate's looking really flat because it is a flat layer. I tried to go for a marbled effect on this background piece, but it just looks gross, so I'm going to paint over it. Probably going to put down a bit of tape just to mask off these areas because I'm happy with them. And you can see where I splattered a little bit of water and stuff, so I'm definitely going to have to go back over this. I'm thinking probably with a more blue neutral or a cold neutral, just so that way it makes the subject pop a bit more. So going to do that, going to add a bit of base around the piece. The more I'm looking at this, the more it looks like it's just sitting, like not in space, so I'm going to have to bring up this plate just so that way I can get a good elliptical. Yeah, so I'm going to bring up the plate, mess with the background marble, add some dimension, start putting in some filling and stuff like that, and I'll check back in, although I think I'm going to call it for tonight. It's like, I think almost 10 o'clock. Alright, so I've gotten to a really good state for the night. I've been working on this for I think about 2 to 3 hours tonight. And I'm really happy. I really enjoy this texture that I've managed to build up in the cream, as well as the little strokes in the ganache raspberry filling, and just the really moist texture of the cake. I personally prefer sad, moist cake to something dry or really light and airy. So I really love getting to that effect. And overall, I'm really happy with the piece. I've built up a good amount of paint throughout the entire thing, which I'll show in some really nice close-up shots right here. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with this. It was much more of a fun piece than anything else, but it's going to a local bakery that is going to be awesome, really. I'm really excited about it opening up. Although I really do think that I was able to get across this one kind of more centralized light source than I have been able to in other pieces. Although it's not quite as distinct in this as it is in this kind of sketch and these two other ones, but I'm still really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, if indeed you still are. Leave a like, comment down below what you think I should paint next. If you want something else, like, I don't know, maybe a review, maybe a more of a talking video about a concept or something. I have a couple different projects planned right now. Really anything, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts, and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day.